Good morning, viewers. Welcome to ST Money's Morning News, your weekday business news channel. It's Monday morning, November 18, 2024, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Let's roll. Wall Street's main indexes closed lower on Friday with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq notching the biggest one-day losses in 2 weeks as traders slashed expectations for a December rate cut after signals from senior Federal Reserve officials and stronger than expected retail sales data. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on Thursday cited ongoing economic growth, a solid job market, and inflation above the U.S. central bank's 2% target as reasons it can afford to be careful with the pace and scope of future rate cuts. He remarked the solid economy would allow the central bank to take its time in deciding how quickly to loosen policy further. Meanwhile, new data showed 2 months of surprisingly robust growth in retail sales, adding to evidence of U.S. economic strength. Friday's economic data showed U.S. retail sales rose slightly more than expected in October. Import prices also rebounded, and data released on Wednesday and Thursday showed sticky inflation. Friday's sell off ended a week in which market focus shifted from the US election win by Trump, seen as a pro business choice, to worries about the rate cut path and potential inflation risks are under the new administration. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 305 points or 0.70% to 43,445. The S&P 500 lost 78 points or 1.32% to 5,870. And the Nasdaq Composite dropped 427 points or 2.24% to 18,680. The small cap Russell 2000 index also ended 1.4%, its fourth consecutive session of losses. For the week, the S&P 500 fell 2.08%, while the Nasdaq declined 3.15%, marking their biggest weekly losses in more than 2 months. The Dow fell 1.24% for the week. Shares of major drug makers including Moderna, Pfizer, and AstraZeneca dropped on Friday after Trump nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic, to be Health and Human Services Secretary. Shares in Moderna dropped 7.3%, and Pfizer fell 4.7%, weighing on healthcare, which closed down 1.88% after hitting its lowest since May in its fifth straight day of declines. Chip stocks led the technology sector lower. Applied Materials shares plunged more than 9% after the semiconductor equipment company gave a weaker than expected sales outlook. Nvidia and KLA also retreated about 3% and 5% respectively. Shares of defense firms and government contractors also fell. Adding to Friday's volatility was the regular expiration of stock and index options. CBOE's volatility index, also known as Wall Street's fear gauge, hit 17.55 earlier on Friday, the highest since election day on November 5. However, the index pared gains to close at 16.14. Treasury yields ticked higher. The yield on the benchmark 10-year note inched higher to 4.426% after settling at 4.425% on Thursday. Bitcoin prices climbed above 90,000. The cryptocurrency traded at 91,487 as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time after striking a new intraday record above 93,000 earlier this week. The WSJ dollar index slipped after settling Thursday at a 2-year high. In commodities, West Texas Intermediate crude fell 2.4% to $67.02 a barrel. Spot gold was little changed. That's it for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts for the market. Happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it is all about money.